Sport is the first pillar that all my organizations are built upon, but the second very crucial pillar is everything we learned from the military veterans who appeared on TRS. You see this? Your thought processes and your work processes need to have this kind of fabric of thought. In the long term, you're paid for how often and with how much consistency you can deliver results, and that only happens through military style systems and processes. Here's what I mean by that. Ownership mentality, also related to the skill of delegation. This is what a lot of young entrepreneurs struggle with. And ownership mentality is what a lot of young professionals struggle with. Often, if you're asking yourself why you aren't getting a promotion, or as a business owner, if you're asking yourself why your business isn't growing, it boils down to the same ownership mentality concept. When we began as young entrepreneurs, we were very, very focused on our first 15 or so hires over the 2-year period. We'd only hire if we had lots of clarity, if they fit our sports mentality vibe, and if we felt like these 15 people, all of them are leaders. Remember, if you're a business owner, only hire people that you'd be happy to work for. And as someone who's looking for a job, only work for people you inherently have respect for. That's what creates healthy team environments. And the teams that run more like a military organization and less like a corporate organization or just a startup are the ones that actually flourish in the professional world. And if you're a young professional, know that leadership is a skill that you can learn, but it begins with a sense of ownership mindset. That's how you fetch the fastest promotions for your own career. If you've joined an organization, you've got to treat it like your own baby. Work like that, you will get noticed by your seniors. And if you're in an organization that doesn't promote promotions because of ownership culture, switch your organization. As for business owners, you've got to be a coach to your early team members. Your core team has to simply receive a bit of feedback if they make a mistake, but you've got to give them room to make mistakes so that they groom themselves into being leaders. The best organizations are built out of people who are built within the organization. That's what Zomato's followed. That's what our organization has followed. And most big tech startups in the world, up to a certain point, allow the initial set of hires to become the pillars of the organization. Often in media industries, people only notice the glamour aspect of it, the shiny highlights showcased on Instagram. All I want to say is that to produce content regularly, you need systems and processes. And a few content pieces taking off lead to trophies like this and all the moments that find their way to Instagram. But it's all built first and foremost on SOPs. Very strong protocols that we have placed within our organization because we want to make it system dependent and not person dependent. If a part of your organizational work is based on one person's capabilities, then you're placing yourself in kind of a dangerous position. If that person falls ill or they leave the organization, that part of the organization gets shaken up. A bit of a nostalgic backstory, but when we were growing Monk Entertainment, we didn't have a business degree. We didn't know how to manage our systems. We were drowning in chaos, especially between team member number 5 and 50, where a small organization with a lot of work coming in. At the time, HR was using spreadsheets. The finance department was using another tool. The sales department was using another set of softwares. It was very confusing. We've been using Odoo for a very long time in the organization now to smoothen out our processes. It's an all-in-one business platform that connects all of these different verticals. HR, inventory, sales, finance, you name it, all of them are linked through this one business software. The more organized your backend is, the smoother your work ends up happening. So if you are an ambitious professional, if you're a business owner, I highly recommend you check out Odoo's Community Day in 2025. It's happening on the 13th and 14th of August in Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar. More than 200 entrepreneurs and influencers will conduct talks on this day. There's going to be live demos by experts and business owners will discover practical solutions, not just theories. The best part is that there's no entry fee. This is much better value for money than a random business conference that you pay a lot of money for. I'm going to be there on both the days, and to register, the link is given in the description box. Which is why the military mindset matters. More specifically, seeking feedback ferociously and not being afraid of intense feedback. The leadership rule is that when you're imparting feedback to anyone, you're supposed to mix in good feedback at all times along with some negative feedback. Even the founders require feedback regularly. If you're surrounded by people who challenge you at least once every quarter, I assure you, growth will never ever stop. Don't try cutting someone off while they're giving you inputs. Open your ears and just listen to what they're saying. Think about it, even if you don't agree to it completely initially. You've got to sit with that feedback and view it objectively. The last and most important sub-point is something that you can see in any military veteran's body language. You know that it's a soldier simply by how they stand, by how they carry themselves, by how they dress. An officer-like appearance, an officer-like projection. You've got to project yourself like a professional, but you've also got to focus on your own sense of professionalism. Few sub-points within the sub-point: punctuality, presentability, being well-groomed, being well-dressed, etc. Repeatability, presenting the same quality of product or service repeatedly. That's what you get paid for in the long term. In the same way that you can spot officers in a crowd, you can also spot great professionals in an office environment. And in the long term, all forms of career growth are based on your sense of professionalism. If this is an office, one of the main rules that we follow: no gossip, intense punctuality, and most importantly, kaam ki baat hai. We don't want bullshit talk to happen within these walls. After office timings, you go, you have fun, enjoy a drink. But once you come to the office, have fun, create, enjoy yourself, but also be a top quality professional.